Hello, everyone. Today we're going to explore one of the most devastating and rarely discussed aspects of Soviet cinema history. Beneath the glamorous film premieres, the adoring fans, and the standing ovations, there existed a harsh reality. Many of the era's most celebrated actors struggled with severe alcoholism, slowly self-destructing as they descended from beloved celebrities into isolated individuals battling addiction. This isn't a story about artistic achievement. It's about decline, about how stardom can become a burden, and how alcohol becomes a destructive companion. We'll examine the lives of 10 renowned performers, each representing a personal tragedy, each life cut short by addiction. Stay until the end to learn about the actor whose death resulted from a fatal medical error involving medication and alcohol, and another who claimed to see visions of his deceased friend beckoning him. Oleg Dahl. Let's begin with a death that devastated the nation and remains shrouded in mystery. Dahl passed away at just 39, despite being considered one of the finest actors of his time. Extraordinarily gifted, yet seemingly destined for tragedy. His final months read like something from a psychological thriller. In the months leading to his death, he repeatedly told acquaintances about recurring dreams featuring Vladimir Vysotsky, who had passed away the previous year. In these visions, Vysotsky would invite him to join him, suggesting their reunion was imminent. Though Dahl attempted to treat it lightly, those close to him noticed genuine fear in his demeanor. His battle with alcoholism was brutal and unrelenting. Despite multiple attempts at treatment, therapeutic interventions, and sincere promises to family members, he repeatedly fell back into destructive patterns. He would vanish for days, binge drinking until friends or family located him in strange locations, unknown residences, lodgings, or building entrances. Eventually, his third spouse departed, overwhelmed by the situation. He found himself isolated, accompanied only by alcohol and haunting memories. During March 1981, while in Kiev for a film project and staying at a hotel, he experienced a medical crisis overnight. His heart suddenly failed. He was discovered the following morning, deceased and alone in his room, with an empty bottle nearby. A tremendous talent extinguished at 39, another victim of addiction. Vladimir Vysotsky. Vysotsky achieved legendary status while still alive, yet this icon struggled with severe drinking episodes. He suffered from dipsomania, a particularly dangerous pattern of alcoholism characterized by inability to stop once started. His binges would continue until unconsciousness, severe withdrawal symptoms, or worse. He might abstain for extended periods, then suddenly spiral into week-long or longer drinking episodes. His wife, Marina Vladi, described how he would vanish unexpectedly. She'd eventually locate him somewhere in Moscow, intoxicated, physically depleted, yet continuing to drink. According to him, the relentless demands were unbearable. Constant performances, traveling, being simultaneously adored by the public while facing official disapproval. Alcohol offered temporary relief while ultimately destroying him. July 1980 brought his death from acute cardiac failure. Years of alcohol abuse had taken their toll on his heart. He was only 42, still at his creative peak and immensely popular. Marina Vladi later compared him to a candle, burning intensely but briefly. Alexander Abdulov. Abdulov captured hearts across the nation during the 1980s, radiating charisma and charm. However, beneath this appealing exterior lay a darker struggle. His longtime friend Sergei Nikonenko spoke candidly. Sasha battled alcoholism. Without the drinking and smoking, he would have lived much longer. His tobacco use began in adolescence, with alcohol following later. His former spouse, Irina Alfarova, remembered alcohol being constantly present in their home. His drinking wasn't about intoxication. It helped him sleep and sustained him through grueling days. He craved more stage time, needing outlets for creative expression. Lung cancer claimed his life in 2008 at 54. Genuine talent, genuine addiction. Yuri Belov. Belov shone in 1950s cinema, charming, comedic, partnering with Lyubov Orlova. However, one intoxicated comment about Khrushchev transformed everything. Authorities declared him mentally unstable, committing him to psychiatric treatment. His career collapsed, opportunities vanished, leaving only alcohol. Years of professional rejection drove him to chronic addiction. He attempted comebacks, pleaded for opportunities, degraded himself before filmmakers, but his psychiatric history made him untouchable. Alcohol became his sole comfort. Alexander Demianenko became trapped by a single character, Shurik from Gaidai's beloved comedy. Audiences nationwide recognized this endearing, awkward figure who brought laughter to millions. Yet the actor deeply resented this typecast identity. Despite desperate attempts to escape it and secure dramatic work, filmmakers couldn't envision him as anyone else. This frustration fueled his drinking. Professional stagnation contributed significantly to his dependency. During production periods, he'd disappear for days on drinking binges. The economically turbulent 1990s left him jobless, forcing him into questionable television work that drew criticism. His declining health culminated in cardiac failure at 62. Yuri Bogatyrev. This story remains particularly chilling. Bogatyrev's death resulted from medical error. While secretly managing depression with antidepressants, he experienced a health emergency. Emergency responders, unaware of his medication, administered clonidine. The combination triggered immediate cardiac arrest. His struggles with depression and career frustration led to powerful medications, which he concealed from medical professionals. When crisis struck, the administered treatment proved fatally incompatible with his prescriptions. Death was instantaneous. Georgy Burkov. Burkov possessed exceptional talent, ironically spending his career portraying alcoholics and deteriorating intellectuals. Reality mirrored his roles as he became similar to his characters. Years of drinking ravaged his body internally, leaving his circulatory system severely compromised. Medical professionals later expressed amazement that he'd survived as long as he had. In 1990, a simple fall while retrieving a book resulted in a broken hip. Hospitalization led to a fatal blood clot. He was 57, his body unable to recover from years of alcohol damage. Izolda Izvitskaya, the stunning star of The 41st, who impressed international audiences at Cannes. Unfortunately, her alcoholic husband, Edward Berdun, introduced her to heavy drinking, then became physically abusive. Despite witnesses like Ludmila Kosatkina seeing her injuries, Izvitskaya remained, believing, "He won't survive without me." She died alone in her apartment, her body failing from alcoholism and malnutrition. She was merely 38, still beautiful and talented. Her friend Tatyana Gavrilova discovered her, herself struggling with addiction. Tatyana Samoylova, the luminous lead of The Cranes Are Flying, often called the Soviet equivalent of Audrey Hepburn. 3 failed marriages, a son placed in institutional care who never reconciled with her. As fame faded and people forgot her, roles disappeared and drinking intensified. Samoylova would wander off and become lost. She turned up at different medical facilities. She ruined theatrical productions, appearing at work intoxicated. She died in a hospital on her 80th birthday, isolated and largely forgotten. Alexei Fomkin. Kolya Gerasimov from Guest from the Future, adored by an entire generation of children, yet early fame proved destructive. Mature roles eluded him. Drinking began during adolescence as he struggled with early celebrity. Heart failure took him at 34, his cardiovascular system unable to withstand alcohol's effects. The cherished child star had become another casualty of addiction. Final thoughts. This represents fame's cost in a society where alcohol was the predominant available escape. 10 extraordinary talents, 10 devastated lives, 10 preventable tragedies. Some drank from professional rejection, others from fame's pressures. Some simply collapsed under systemic stress. Yet the outcome remained constant. Addiction conquered talent. Alcohol eroded genius, destroyed artistry. These individuals could have created for decades, entertaining audiences and producing timeless work. Instead, they exemplified how readily available substances can destroy human potential. Thank you for reading this through. Please share in the comments which story affected you most profoundly.